Well, hey everyone, welcome back to RC Mechanic Garage. Today we're working on phase 5 of the D110 project. Phase 5 is going to be rather involved, going to be a lot of fabricating, and if you're looking at this rig and you're going like, you know, there's a bunch of things you still need to do, you're right, I do. I mean, this is just together to work at up to this point right now. So before this is finished, I'm gonna have to go through the whole truck and make sure like everything's Loctited. If you know anything about drive shaft phasing, that this is about 90 degrees out, right? And so that have to be fixed. But in this video, what we're going to work on is a mount for us to get the 2-speed transmission to work, and we're going to fabricate a bracket to go up here for the steering. Steering's important. If you're new to this channel, thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching. If you come back, thank you for coming back. Right? If you're new to this channel and you haven't seen any of the series yet, just search for D110 phase 1 through 4 and you'll be all caught up. Actually, phase 1 was my favorite one because that's when I got all the lights to work. So anyway, phase 2 was suspension, phase 3 was the transmission, phase 4 is the transfer case, getting it mounted, and drive shafts in. And now we're on to phase 5, which is one of the most important ones. You know, we have a 2-speed transmission, R3 from RC 4-wheel drive in here, and I don't have a servo in it. We're going to have to make a mount. I've actually been brainstorming before I turn the camera on, trying to figure out how I want to do that. I may have enough scrap around here because I don't want to cut into it like a full piece of metal just to make a bracket. But I do have you know, a good amount of scrap. So yeah, just brainstorming. If you're not familiar how I've built servo mounts in the front before, I do have another video out on my SCX10 steering with a cheap link set. You can check that video out too if you want, and you'll see exactly, pretty much exactly how I'm going to do this. In that video, I was trying to get the bumper to work with the steering, and it wasn't looking like it was gonna, and I wasn't going to give up until I got what I wanted. So that's how that turned out. That truck has been bulletproof as far as steering goes. Probably could use a better servo, but other than that, the bracket's perfect. It looks really clunky and overbuilt, but it's alright. Alright, so I think first part, we're going to tackle this shift servo, because that should, I'm saying should, be the easiest of the two. When it comes to the 2-speed servo on this, I ran several scenarios. You may have seen them on Facebook or Instagram. But I think what I finally come up with is these blocks right here. I already threaded them, drilled them, kind of like stick them up in here. Actually can't stick the back one up in there because there's a bolt in the way. Alright, let me fix that. Alright, so I backed off this rear bolt, but if you look at it from this angle, I'm most likely going to have to carve out either a notch or an L bracket or something of that sort in here. Okay, but I think this is the way to go on this, because if I was to flip it 90 degrees, well, it runs really close to everything. Okay? And this here would stick out like that. And I wouldn't have anything to bolt it to. You see that? Yeah. So I found this thick stock. It's about what is it? So if I was to go here, it's about 1 inch wide, right? And 1/4 inch thick, which seems to be pretty much perfect. And as you can see, I already drilled the holes and threaded the holes in here, so I can just once I get the bottom where I want it to be, I can just I'm thinking, since this truck is since this is just the shift servo, it doesn't need to have a massive amount of support. So I could probably do, like, I don't know, do all the screws on top and do like 2 screws on the bottom, like one in the middle here, one about there, you know, the one that just backed off, and it should hold. Everybody can tell me what you think of it. That's kind of the plan I'm going with. All I gotta do now is take one of these and carve it out, so you know it clears this wire. My bandsaw, I think I need to tighten the blade a little bit more or something, because it wasn't cutting stuff exactly square. I hope you all get the idea of where I'm going with this, and if you have any comments on it, please, even if I've already done it, I mean, leave a comment. I may change it, you never know. Here's what I came up with for the steering servo, utilizing this plate from scrap metal. Actually, you know, I showed you already, I cut these pieces right here, drilled, tapped, 4 holes on top, drilled and tapped a hole at the bottom, there and here, and it's not moving, you know. Not sure what will happen later, but you know, for right now it is solid. And as far as shifting, the only thing I can see is that right there is really close. May have to clearance that. I don't know. We'll see when we go to hook up all the electronics and, you know, get everything working. We'll see how this all works out. If it shifts fine into high gear and low gear, then we'll just leave it alone, right? But like I said before, I'm gonna have to go through this whole truck anyway to Loctite everything. I'll have to do some cleanup. You know, I'll have to trim this down, and as you can see right here, I'm not sure. You know, maybe I'll trim this down too. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it. I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it. I don't know. Y'all leave a comment and you tell me. And by the end of this project, you tell me if I should clean that all up or just leave it. Okay? So, the other question will be, do I need this full servo horn, or can I bring this back so it's, you know, parallel with this rod, do like I did on the Fayu rock racer, and drill a hole in the middle and thread that and just cut it down. I mean, it doesn't have to move that much. It has to move that much, which isn't really Let's see. Is it all the way in? Yep, it's all the way in. It's already in low. Yeah, there's going to be an issue here. I'm going to have to do something. I may have to pull one screw out here, that inner screw in the front. Let me just do that real quick and let's see how that works. Okay, so I pulled that screw out on the inside up here. I think that will probably do it. If I feel I need a screw in there, I could put countersunk screw in there, which I think I have one here. I have one like this one. Let's just, which will make it sit more flush in this hole. Let's see how that looks. It'll still give it its strength it needs for mounting. Okay. Oh yeah, that brings the clearance down quite a bit. So, I'll bring that back. That'll probably work. At least I'm thinking it will. Okay, onto the steering. So let me show you what I did on the SCX-10 1946 Dodge. I'll give you somewhat of an idea of what I'm going to do here. Let's just take a look at the difference and similarities between these two frames. Here's the one we're working on right now. This is the D110 project, right? We have the steering servo, I hope, is all taken care of, right? Okay. But I wanted to bring out the SCX-10 clone because what's probably going to happen to this one will be the same as what happened already to this one. Alright? With the exception that the steering servo, instead of going this way, will be going this way. Okay? Same concept. I already have my bumper mount here, so I'm not struggling with the I want the best of both worlds, because if I had the best of both worlds, all I need is steering servo right here. Okay? This bumper right here will never come off. If I ever have to change it, I don't know what I'll have to do, but it'll never come off. This here has been absolutely bulletproof. I've had absolutely no issues with it. The only reason why I changed the speed controller and the receiver is because I wanted to. Still has the same SSD transmission in it. Everything is still the same. It's oh, and you know, if you look at it, there's a difference between a 4.5 and a 4.7 tire. Alright. So, I don't know about you, but I'm getting kind of excited, but not as excited as I was, or passionate as I was for this one. Okay. The difference will be, this has a carbon fiber frame, right? And this has a steel rail frame. So, the question will be, do I run, like on this one here, I ran the brackets on the inside because there was no groove there, right? So I ran it on the inside and just bolted it up. And if you look, you can see there's many nuts right there. Okay? Now, this one, what I may do is just go from the outside in. Same concept will be this plate, but instead of using rivets like I did last time, I'll use screws and bolts. You dig? I hope so. All right. So I just wanted to show this to you before we moved on to the rest of this. Give you kind of a concept of where I've been and where I'm going to. Right? Been, going to. All right. Onto the steering now. First round, the left side is pretty close. I could drop this down a bit more. Okay. The right side, obviously I misdrilled because that's sticking up way too far. What I would want ideally is to have this end of this be flush with the frame rail and then come forward. This I can fix using this material right here. I could just, you know, do a bigger hole and drop it down a bit. Get it really close, okay? The other side, I'm probably gonna have to redo. You can see the gap right there. I mean, it's just like crazy. On the plus side, if I need to extend the bumper bracket right here, I can extend that out quite a bit. I can actually utilize these screws right here. Just carve out a notch and move it up into there. So that would put it about right there. That would give it a pretty good extension. And if I remember right, when I had the body on it, it was short of the front grille, and I would prefer this to be right up to the grille. Now I could go with other than putting in drilling a bigger hole and dropping this down over here, I could drill even a bigger hole on this side right here and drop it down. Working on the steering. Okay, well, I have the plates made. They're up here. I actually redid the side mounts right here because I misdrilled these. Yeah, I know, it's a waste of material, but here's the thing. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right, and at least as right as I think it is. And so I redid the side plates. I did the top plates. Decided to go with 2 of them this time instead of the one big plate, and that is because, well, I didn't have the material wide enough for that. I do have some cleanup to do here still, but and there's also some cleanup to be done on the sides. Need to trim this up on both sides, and where this line goes vertical, that's where the bumper will go into, because in the end the bumper is going to slide in here, right, just under this. So with the servo in there, this is what we're looking at. Okay, we have this. I'm gonna bring the servo, I'm gonna bring this part of the servo as far up as I can. So I'm just gonna mount it like this, that way. It should not, now I say should not get in the way of the bumper bracket. So if I need this bracket for anything else, say a body mount, whatever, I already have it here. I don't think I'm going to rivet it in place. I'm just going to use the screws, and well, I may do on the back side, but the front side, maybe not. I'm actually really happy with the way this here turned out because, well, you know, you just keep practicing until you get it, you know, the way you want it. So the SCX10 clone steering mod with the cheap link set video is the first version of this, and this here's the second version. Second version I kind of like a lot better because, you know, well, it's not so bulky, clunky, and all that. I mean, maybe it's because I have 2 plates instead of 1 plate. It's possible. So, only thing I have to do now is drill 4 holes and then do some trimming and get that bumper mount back in there, and we should be good as gold. With the bumper mount in there, it sits right, you know where the edge of this here is? It sits pretty much, I mean, back just a little bit. No, about right there. Almost flush with that. I may need to do some sanding on the sides of this mount right here, but other than that, yeah, we're good. We'll put the motor back in, and then I think I'm going to address this right here. I believe I need to find some material that's wide enough, long enough, where I can just do 1 plate that's 1 height instead of raising this up. Just, you know, bring it down just a hair, because, you know, I'm just not happy with that. I mean, it barely touches, but, you know, it really should have a little bit more room than that. So, and that's the way fabrication goes, you know. You go like, okay, well, it works, but it could be better. And sometimes you have to redo stuff. Coming up, we're going to be doing some trimming right here, so that bumper mount can get in there, and up in here, so I don't have an obstacle when it comes to, you know, full compress and all that, and put the holes in for the mounting of this servo. Here's where we're at so far. Okay, the mounts are made, plates are made, servo is installed, and I just wanted to show everybody what it would look like with the motor in. So let's take a look at it. With the motor in, it's looked like there's a good amount of room right here. Servo is where it needs to be. I did have to shorten this here link right here because this one was way too dang long, right? And before the end of this video, we're going to go ahead and clean up everything on the sides and all that. So let me show you what we're going to have to do with that. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to trim up in here, both sides. I have to trim here to get the bumper mount in up to about there. Alright, and so that means that the only 4 bolts holding this will be this one and the 2 on the other side. Should be strong enough. Should be. And to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, I could give it, it has a bit too much give in the front, unless the rear ends up with having a whole bunch of weight. The rear right here will have the battery in it. My thought is to put the electronics on the body and just unplug, like I don't know, the motor steering servo and shift servo in the end. You can all let me know what you think of it. I mean, you know, just kind of like tell me. Leave a comment. Comments are good. Keeps me honest. Keeps me constantly thinking. This is the whole reason why I do this right here. The rest of the week I'm going to have to work on full-size stuff because I have promises made that I need to keep, and I need to get those done. Okay, I have a differential to finish up. I have a mower. My mower's down, so I have to fix that. And most likely what will happen here in the end is that this plate, the plate that holds this right here, is going to have to come down. So I'm going to have to find material I can use to drop it down. You know, just kind of like one piece right here. Tell me what you think of that. That may have to be on the next video. I am not sure. The next video will be basically getting all the electronics working, lights working, body on, and that should finish this truck. This is RC Mechanic. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next phase of this project. I could call it part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, infinity, but I decided to just go with phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, you know, because actually this year, actually, you know, projects like this actually run in phases. I mean, and I could call them part 1, 2, 3, 4, but they run in phases. I mean, once I get past this shift servo, steering up in here, everything should start coming together, because that is basically the majority of it. Once we get past those parts, everything just seems to come together. You know, except that I have never put the electronics on the body itself and then hooked all this, and that up to it. This truck is still really front heavy. It is. The body is really heavy as well. I put 45 weight oil in the shocks, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.